contrary to popular opinion.
Right.
But even if they don't get along, touch one of them and they will click up and beat you down. And then they'll go back to fighting each other. We understand that. Because everybody not always supposed to get along. Everybody not always supposed to agree with everything somebody else say.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the principles that you're standing on as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, so since you're standing on principles, right, it make your counterpart know that she got a firm shoulder to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of holding on to your shoulder, she wrap her arm around your waist while she switch. Because she don't want to burden you. She want to prop you up. Right? Let's get it. We talking about we got to either build an empire together or we got to tear the empire down. I don't care which one of it is, ride or MF and die. Till the wheels roll off. Go through all schools of thought until you get the truth out of all of them and tell us what it means.
Right.
Judge none, because you're going to be judged by the most. Right. They're going to look for every reason to say that you didn't do the work you did in studying mama and papa to become the person you are to teach the nation.
Right.
All the nations. Remember who you are. This is why we here. First blood of the birthright is the first right to the earth right, which is the mitochondrial right of the women to inherit the earth. The philosophical principle applied to masculinity is man is supposed to subdue the earth for the women to be able to make earth become heaven. To change the frequency is to give them the required information they need to change the paradigm of thought from slaves, reparations, and poverty, right, to deify entities walking in the flesh with magical properties and mystical abilities that science is studying and trying to explain how we can do what we do. Shout out Black Girl Magic. I put that stuff on everything I do. Right? Naya the Fire came to burn this chick down about her daddy stuff. Back to the beginning is the same way we come out the end. You just see it upside down and backwards. And this is how you flip the last to be first over the last that was first. You have to change the paradigm by steering them clear of that BS lie. Where the slave ships.
Right.
You got 10,000-year-old ships under the sea that you treasure diving from, and they fully intact in the ocean with their wealth on them, but there ain't no slave ships. Where the slave ships? Hear that noise.
Yeah.
We know who we are now. As my man say, we know the truth now.
Facts.
So we telling it in clear and concise principles as possible that takes us back to all of the stuff that our elders told us that wasn't in the books. The oral tradition. We still pass the message down because it comes out in the swag, in the lingo, in the fad dances, what area or is hot right now, telling you where the chief at as he move across the land. Right? He don't have to be one chief. It could be many chiefs, but the one that take the lead is where the energy moves to. So we watch the movement of the frequency across the land in temperature, precipitation, wind speed, and ground effect. Ground effect means if a tornado come and level the city, it's telling us something. What did they name the tornado? Why did they give it a name?
Yeah.
Right? All of them don't got names. So they named one for a reason. The reason why is because it's an ancestral spirit associated with the tornado or hurricane that they named it. Remember, When a tropical storm is weak, it has a male name. But when it comes to full rage hurricane, they always change it to a female name.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because the power of the earth is in the hearts of the women.
Mm-hmm.
The secret to the liberation of the planet is to restore the women back to their divine feminine energy and to enforce it by protecting the children with the women while we protect the women. Circles within circles. The concentric circles is the pattern of the earth tribes.
Right.
The regimented squared off seats is the regimented military districts. Right? A military district is controlled under postal zone, where they set their post up. Watch the movement of the energy, and you'll know which chief is responsible to take action about a certain part of the work. You just might not personally know the individual, but you know the energy is there because you watching the flow of the energy across the land. Right? It's just like when you go outside, you hear the birds chirping, the wind blowing and ruffling leaves of different types of plant. All that sound is messages.
Mm-hmm.
Because all sound have a musical note sequence. And if you can record the sound, you can interpret the musical notes.
Mm-hmm.
The interpretation of the musical notes matches you up with lines of frequency. Right? Depending on the note. Once you get the frequency, you can translate the frequency into a feeling. Once you get the feeling can then translate to the subconscious mind the meaning in the feeling that you just got from the sound. Right? And all that go back to mama teaching, reading her face, daddy's voice, and hearing the sound, the right sound, the A tone, because we at one.
Right. I got another question for you, Rod, and it's tied into that. Hey, shout out Dr. Paul for the super chat, man. Dr. Paul's in the building, y'all. Rod, so we going to the next. This is I got some good questions, man. The next question I got for you ties into you was kind of going into it a little bit right then about the love language. Because like in some of my past relationships, they always say, "Oh yeah, you ain't understand my love language. That's why we didn't line up or this and it," right? So I didn't even know what the hell it was. I didn't even know what love language was. I just,
So
go ahead.
Let me explain love language.
Okay, all right.
You have things in your life that you love. Like some people think they foodies. They love language is food, and you can tell what they telling you by the food that they offering you. And the taste of the food is supposed to be translated into the best, closest example of the emotion that they can express.
Yeah.
Right? Music as a love language, express it in the words that you can't formulate. The songwriter has the poetic ability to formulate your words and translate it onto music in order for you to get the feeling from the music. And the more you love music, the more you can read music. You don't need to know the notes if you understand the feeling. And this is why you work on emotional intelligence. Right? Now, another love language is gifting. Right? You know that you really into a chick when you ain't talked to her in 2-3 days and you just go on Amazon and buy her a book. Buy her that glass cup that she was talking about the last time you was over there and just have it shipped. You're a gifter. You give gifts. Gifts is your display of affection.
Yeah.
Right? Other people love language. They like to read poetry. Right? So they want you to go to the stand-up poetry reading, the open mic night and all that because the poetry, the way they feel about poetry is the bond they trying to build with you through listening to other poets go over their art. A love language. right? The antithesis to that is trauma bonding.
Uh-huh.
Okay, trauma bonding is the exact opposite of a love language. So we gonna stay on love language. I don't want to get crossed on trauma bonding. Take you down
I'm gonna
the
write that
whole
down.
other trauma bonding.
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going on love language. We're gonna come back to that.
Okay. So when you have a emotional affection for something and you use that as a display of affection for the other person, right? That's a love language. That's how they telling you how they feel without using the vanity of words. Because a person could say out their mouth they love you right before they shoot you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right before they stab you in the back,
Yeah.
right before they get an optional address and tell them we don't need the chairman no more.
Yeah.
Because you scared of his ability to galvanize the masses. So you take sides with the enemy, right?
Yeah.
Because the bond was based on a mutual trauma. When you hear people always complain about how sick they is and it sound like Munchausen syndrome, and then they start having children, they tell you how sick their kids is, the kids be healthy as can be.
Yeah.
Munchausen by proxy, that's because they trying to create affection through sympathy of a trauma that they created in their head and made it manifest in their reality. And they want your sympathy. That's a way to drain you of your love frequency, because in order to give them sympathy for low vibrational BS, you have to give them sympathy from your root chakra.
Thanks, bro. You dropping some
But
stuff.
when you giving them your love language, you giving it to them from your heart chakra. And if they appreciate it, the gratitude widens the bandwidth. If they reciprocate it, it creates a cyclic energy. The cyclic energy in mutual gratitude again increases the already increased bandwidth, right? So if y'all showing this kind of energy exchange, you able to more easily connect with other people in harmonious fashion, because wherever you go, that field that's generated from that genuine love connection and mutual gratitude and every other holy virtue you add to it serves as an amplifier, a music clarifier, and all of the other tools you need to get the best sound from your musical expression of your love language.
Hey, Rod. So now, cause I was on there, man. I'm gonna tell you, I was my love language is making sure you straight. Like if you got like
That's
whatever.
guardian. That's called being a guardian.
Yeah, whatever you do, if you do some shit, I got it for you. You drink wine, I got that. You whatever you like to eat, you all the bills paid, you straight. But that ain't been working for me. That shit ain't
That's
been working.
because when you that kind of provider, it gives you a frequency that makes you become over possessive, which makes it easier for people to step on your toes and set you off. But you don't always know where it's coming from. It's coming from the goodness of your heart feeling disrespected, which makes you lash out. Right? This part of us knowing ourselves, if you know how you are, then you know that I'm supposed to feel this way under these circumstances. Now you know it's in context. It's going back to emotional intelligence I spoke about earlier, right? Your emotional quotient, your EQ, is telling you how to process the emotion to determine the proper course of action. That's when you learn yourself enough to use your emotions as a navigation system. When you lose people in your life, you're supposed to feel some form of sorrow. But the sorrow or sadness that comes with that in the society like we live in, where they put a negative connotation to it, makes what they call a vexus grieving response. You over grieve, but everybody grieve different. So you can't tell a person how to shorten their grieving period because it's in their perception that their grieving period go through all of the stages of grief, right? And once they go through all of the stages of grief, then they can have the joyous memories of the person in their life that they lost, but they still keep the memory because the memory really keeps the person alive within you.
Hey, so right now, let's get into this trauma bonding because that's what I went through. That's what the person I was with last, they said, "Oh, we got together because we were trauma bonding," and I'm trying to feel like I don't feel like that. I felt like I like you, you it's like maybe I picked it for the wrong things, but you know what I mean. Like they said, like the trauma bonding thing is like both of you to hurt, say I get together to make based off of that. So like
Okay.
what is it? What is
I'm going to show you some examples. It's different examples of how people trauma bond. Right? Some people trauma bond based off a tragedy that happened in their life as a child that they haven't been able to rationalize in their mind why that tragedy took place in their life. So this become what you call an anchored trauma. It's an original first trauma. Now, there's going to be a series of fertilizer traumas throughout their life that's going to steer exactly how they perceive the world around them. Right? And once they perceive it a certain way, the trauma bond come in when you can see it from their perspective. They become emotionally attached to you because in their mind, you understand me. Right? So now they go every time they feel like they disconnecting, they either mimic the original trauma or one of the offshoot traumas in order to activate your sympathy to bring you back into the bond under the pretenses of soothing the pain of the trauma. Now,
you can write a book.
Another form of trauma bonding is domestic violence. Domestic violence is severe trauma bonding. You taught to us through denying the men the discipline, the external discipline of the father, to allow him to keep his emotions in check, right? And because most of the trauma bonding, he beat her down or she beat him down because it worked both ways. Because some of these dudes get whipped by their women, and after the fight, they gonna make passionate love. It's called breakup to makeup. The worse the breakup part is, the better the makeup part is. This is trauma bonding through sexual means.
That's crazy.
And many people perceive the after effect of the makeup sex with the sensation that they've been told is love in their romantic novel stories, in their romantic movies, in their romantic fairy tales, right? It's the after effect of the traumatic bond. What you think Romeo and Juliet was about?
Yeah.
Two forbidden people who ain't supposed to be together bind on the just to be rebellious to their families in an arranged situation. They both was espoused to somebody else, but they wanted to defy the family edicts on both sides. Right? So they tell it to us as this massive love story, the greatest love story ever told, and all that. But they really subtly sliding the trauma bond aspect of them having to fight their families. That's the trauma. To be together, that's the bond. Right? So they both fighting their families to see each other. The trauma of fighting the family is making the bond tighter and tighter.
That was kind of my situation right there.
Right. Yeah. So the repetition. To break free of the trauma, the only thing you got to do is recognize that the trauma exists. You recognize it, you acknowledge it, and then you release it because you didn't cause the trauma. Somebody else gave you the trauma. If you caused the trauma, you forgive yourself for the trauma you caused. And make a vow to yourself, not nobody else, that you will try not to inflict that trauma on anyone else. Right? But don't take other people's attempts to trauma bind with you as your rejection of that, as if you did something wrong. You ain't supposed to let nobody trauma bind with you if you self-aware. You genuine love connections, you have genuine loyalty, you have genuine affection, right? And all of this is before there's any other links like sexual or anything like that. The genuine connection first is established by two people just being a genuine self, right? And by you being your authentic self, it makes people gravitate toward authenticity. It's like moths to a flame. They don't have to agree with you if they feel the authenticity. They still gonna come see, well, what else is he being authentic about? Even though that sounds like some total quackery to me.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. So we want to get away from the trauma bind by acknowledging your trauma. And if somebody inflicted the trauma on you, you release it back to the universe. I don't want that. You got a right not to accept the status of victim in the universe where you're supposed to be deified. You don't have to be nobody victim. It's not in your book of life. It's not in my book. It ain't in nobody's book of life that's walking around on 2 feet, call themselves a sentient human, that they are required to be somebody else's victim. But your ignorance can drive you in somebody's lane and get you ran over.
That's right.
Right? Your disrespect will put you in somebody's crosshairs and get you cut down. Right? Your lack of self-control will make somebody put pinstripes across your windpipe, DMX.
Yeah.
Right? So the better you have self-control and the more you focus on your agenda, you don't got time to worry about what nobody else doing. Everybody starts stop what they doing to watch what you doing because you blowing past the world. You become a meteorite in life.
That brings me to the